Avengers Infinity War. Everybody on Earth knows what this is and has been anticipating this since forever. It's now time for all of our favorite heroes and Falcon to team up and try to stop the Mad Titan Thanos. Now, I don't think what anybody was expecting is this is more of a Thanos movie than an Avengers movie. Thanos is really the only character in this movie with an arc. All the conflicts are centered around him. It's all about his quest to get the Infinity Stones. Also, his relationships with characters like Gamora, his adopted daughter that he took from a planet that he genocided. They have more than delivered on the hype of bringing Thanos to the big screen after setting him up in the first Avengers post-credit scene. He's a villain with depth, and you can see why he is the way he is. And you get why he wants to accomplish what he wants to accomplish, which is, in essence, a galactic genocide. His methods are so extreme, but no matter what, he believes he's doing the right thing, like the best villains. He never kills without provocation. He's just an interesting villain and one of the best of the MCU. Josh Brolin as Thanos also brought his A game to the movie. One of the greatest motion capture performances ever, combined with the effects. His voice and the movements, you just feel an absolute sense of dread every time Thanos is on the screen. The rest of the cast is great as well. Just assume anybody I don't mention specifically was good. Except Mark Ruffalo, he sucked in the movie. All his lines felt like they were reading off a cue card, and I hated his mini subplot with the Hulk not being able to come out again. The rest of the cast pretty much own their characters at this point. It's gonna suck when any of them get recast. Zoe Saldana does the best acting work of her career alongside Thanos, dealing with the trauma of being raised by him and the loss of her people, and then having to see him yet again. Her scenes were probably my favorite of the whole movie. The rest of the Guardians fare well too. You could easily look at this movie as just part 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy. Chris Hemsworth as Thor was amazing as well. He's pretty much lost everything that he's fought so hard for. He has a monologue with Rocket Raccoon that's actually so great. It starts off comedic, but then it gets so dark. Doctor Strange was awesome on just a pure power level with the action, and they fully show the range of what he can do. They did better showing what he could do than in his own solo movie. Tom Holland is so great as Spider-Man in this movie. His final scene had me on the verge of tears. I look forward to seeing him in other roles besides Spider-Man because he's talented. One of the most impressive things about the movie is how they handled all the interactions between these characters and how unlike they are. And it all worked. Nobody was out of character. They all acted like they would in these interactions. This movie subverted my expectations in a good way, unlike some other movies that are out there. Oh, how did this picture of director Rian Johnson, director of Star Wars The Last Jedi, pop up here? That was weird. The problem, of course, with so many characters that a lot of them don't get enough screen time or don't get any development at all and are only there for the action scenes, like Black Widow. Of course, this movie has amazing actions. The Russos are the best action directors in the MCU. Seeing all these characters' powers and their tools and how well they interact with each other in creative ways, it feels like fanboy fantasy is coming true on the big screen. I'm just going to spoil one. That was probably my favorite. Just skip ahead 10 seconds if you don't want to hear it. Bucky picks up Rocket Raccoon while he's firing a gun, and he's also shooting his machine gun, and it was so awesome. This movie is Marvel's Empire Strike Back, and that's not hyperbole. This is it. With all the characters being divided but working toward a common goal, and the dark and bleak tone and the cliffhanger ending, very little humor compared to the other Marvel movies, which was a good thing, because with this bleak tone, you shouldn't have Star-Lord always cracking wise. There is a few groaners in there, like, did you really need that? But this movie felt like a direct response to the criticisms that the MCU gets a lot. Oh, too much humor? We're going to drop the humor down about 50%. Oh, underdeveloped villains? We're going to have the best villain on the big screen that you've seen in a while. Too light tone? Oh, we're going to dark harder than DC ever could. You think we don't have consequences? Oh, so many deaths. Yes, there are deaths in this movie, and I was not expecting most of them at all. This movie subverted expectations in a way that was rewarding. It did beloved characters justice with their deaths. It also set up a cliffhanger where actually you want to see what happens next. Oh my god, Rian Johnson, director of The Last Jedi, showed up yet again. Why does he keep showing up right when I talk shit about his movie? Of course I have complaints, because I'm a jerk, I guess. This movie doesn't really feel like a movie with a traditional third act structure. It just feels like an entire third act. It feels like an event movie. Also, to understand anything at all about this movie, you have to pretty much do your homework with the MCU. You have to watch all the Avengers movies, you have to watch Guardians of the Galaxy movies, you have to watch Thor. This movie does not hold your hand in the slightest if you've been unengaged with the Marvel movies or haven't really seen any of them before. If you're lost, well, that's your problem, because Marvel doesn't care. They want this movie for the fans. But I'm one of those people who enjoy the MCU and have kept up with everything, so I wasn't lost at all. Don't take your grandma, because she's might have a heart attack with how much action's going on, and she won't know anything about what's going on. Remember when the climax of 1989 Batman was Michael Keaton punching Jack Nicholson off a church roof? And now we have Thanos getting attacked by Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Star-Lord, Iron Man, a bunch of other characters all at the same time. just how far we've come. You pretty much have to see this movie. I doubt this review would stop anybody going to see it at all. But I would say you get the most out of it if you're an MCU fan. Please don't take your kids. They will be crying. This is a heavy movie, and I don't think they'll be able to deal with the ending at all. I'm the most cynical guy I know, and I couldn't handle some of the parts in the ending. Even though I knew some characters might come back or what's going to happen in the next Avengers movie, I could not handle it. But because this is Marvel's Empire Strikes Back, I fully expect there to be a Return of the Jedi where all the characters get a happy ending or some of them die, some don't. I just hope the Russos are up to the task to close the chapter on this phase of the MCU. Congratulations to Marvel on 10 years and all the money they are going to earn from this. They've earned it. Bye.